Hello, this is Miss Lindsay, and today we're going to continue with learning about division. So, division is where we're separating numbers into parts or groups. And I'm going to use groups a whole lot because I think it's easier to see if we're grouping things. This can be done in two different ways. The first way we're going to talk about is repeated subtraction. So, this means that we know how many is in every group. But we need to know and we need to find out how many groups can we divide our total into. So for example, if I have 10 teaspoons of olive oil, each recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of olive oil. How many batches can I make? So my batches would be my groups. And I know in my group I have 2 teaspoons. Now I need to figure out how many batches I can make. So when it's a repeated subtraction problem, we call it that because we could solve the problem by doing repeated subtraction just like that. We could say 10 teaspoons, and I can have 2 minus 2, which is 1 batch, is 8, minus 2 more is 2 batches, minus 2 more, which is my third batch, is 4, minus 2 is equal to 4 batches, minus 2 more, 2 minus 2 equals 0, which is my fifth batch. So how many batches can I make? I can make 5 batches or 5 groups of a recipe. We don't know exactly sure what the recipe is for. Let's go to our next type of problem. We also have an equal sharing problem. So this is where we know our total. We also know how many groups we want, but we don't know how many that group is going to get. The easiest way for me to think about this is, for example, if I wanted to share something equally with my friends. So what if I had a bucket of candy? In my bucket of candy, I had 25 pieces of candy. And I wanted to share that with 5 of my friends. I could go around a circle and hand each friend 1 piece. Then I would know at the end they all have an equal amount, and then they also, and that would also tell me how many is in the group, and then they could tell me I have 5 pieces of candy. So the example I have on here, it says I have 10 pounds of grapefruit, and I need to divide it between 5 people. How many pounds will each person get? So if I have 10 grapefruit and I'm passing it to my 5 people, I need to do that until I run out. So we can draw that as having 10 circles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to take one, put it here, and we're going to do that until we run out of our 10. So we've already got 4, and we'll subtract our 4. Subtract 1. Subtract another. There's my 5th group. So because we have 5 friends. Now, another way I could show this is by having drawn all the 10 and thought, how can I cut this so everyone has an equal amount? Well, in my head, I'm seeing a pattern. The pattern I'm seeing is 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So to see if I'm right, I'm just going to cut this where there's 2 in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that work? It does. So in each person should get 2 grapefruit. Now we have a couple more examples. Oh, well, first let's review. So each division problem has 3 parts. These 3 parts will be in every division problem you ever do. The dividend, which is your total number that's going to be divided up. 2, which is our divisor, or the number of groups. 4, the quotient, or the answer to the division problem. Next, I want to make sure that everyone knows that we can write division problems in 3 different ways. Those 3 ways are horizontally, as a fraction, or by using the fraction bar, which I also call in the house. So if they're in the house, that's our biggest number, which is our dividend. Our quotient goes on top. Our divisor is outside of the house. And notice that no matter where they're placed on this, in this type of division way, in this way of writing this division problem, the numbers have stayed the same part. So quotients are always going to be in this location on this type of problem. 2's will be in the same place, our divisors. Our dividends are going to be in the same place. And our divisor will be in the same place. So if you're asked to write your division problem in another way, you will know exactly what you need in each spot. Okay, so the first problem I'm going to work on is Shania had 25 foot of licorice. She cut it into pieces that were 5 foot long. How many pieces did she make? So I'm first going to have to make my number sentence in my equation that I'm going to solve. So my total number of licorice was 25 feet. And I wanted to cut it into pieces that are 5 foot long. So the pieces will actually be my groups. So I'm going to put the division symbol, and I'm going to put a blank because we don't know how many pieces or groups that our licorice is going to make. If each one is 5 foot long, which is the number that's in the group, it will go right here. So 25 divided by what number equals 5? So 5 times what number equals 25? You may know this off the top of your head, but if not, we can work it out. And we can test out numbers. 5 times 1 is equal to 5. 5 times 2 is equal to 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 equals 20. And then 5 times 5 is equal to 25. Now, is that my answer? Yes. So I can make 5 groups of 25. So I can make 5 pieces of licorice. All right. So because we were looking for the number of groups, let's go back and see what type of problem this was. So this one says we need to know how many groups or the size of the group? Which one were you finding? I want you to think about it for a second. Which one were you finding? We were finding the number of groups. You're correct. So when we go back, we were trying to figure out how many pieces or groups. So we left the groups place open, or the divisor open. Shane made strawberry preserves and was putting it into jars. He puts 8 ounces into each jar. How many jars can Shane make if he has a total of 64 ounces? So, the first thing I want to know, what am I looking for? Am I looking for groups, or am I looking for the number within the group? So it says we could put 8 ounces into each jar. How many jars? So we're looking for how many groups. So let's write this out. So 64. Let's write it with my bigger pen. So 64 divided by is equal to 8 ounces. I know this because I know that altogether I have 64, and I know that I'm looking for the number of groups, so I left my divisor place open. I now know that 8 ounces will fit into every jar. So this one says in each jar we're going to have 8. This one says how many jars. So I know that there are 8 jars in every group. So I can actually reverse this and say how many. So I can say 8. So 8 in the group times how many groups equals 64. Now, if you don't remember your times facts, because you can go back and test it out. So 8 times 1 is equal to 8. 8 times 2 is equal to 16. 8 times 3 is equal to 24. Oops. And then 8 times 4 is equal to 32. 8 times 5 is equal to 40. 8 times 6 equals 48. 8 times 7 is equal to 56. And then 8 times 8 is equal to 64. So I know 8 groups of 8 ounces, so 8 jars, equals 64. Now, I want you to solve the next one. You can do this using any method. I just want you to apply the new skills that you've learned today into this, and then type your answer in the Edpuzzle question below. So Timmy had 24 ounces of water at the beginning of the day. If Timmy drinks 6 ounces of water an hour, how many hours will his water last? So remember that you will be setting up your equation. And this, remember, is always our total or our dividend. This is always our divisor or our groups. Our answer or our number in each group. Is always in the quotient spot. Now, after you finish, go ahead and hit submit, and then you're done with your assignment for today. Have a great day.